Well, SABC News reporter Ntlantla Kgatlhane is covering this case, and he joins us live. Ntlantla, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. What can we expect from today's court proceedings?
Well, a very good morning to you. Coming to you right here from Johannesburg High Court. Like you just played the story there, it was quite interesting yesterday when EFF leader started with his testimony. He was also cross-examined. Today we expect him to conclude his testimony, or rather to conclude the cross-examination. But with me here I have the author of the book Kill the Boer, Mr. Ernst Roets, who's just going to talk to us in terms of his take in terms of how things are going. I mean, we saw yesterday during the testimony his book was being ridiculed, or they questioned the credibility of his book, and like I said earlier this week that his book was used as evidence here. Mr. Roets, thank you so much for your time. I guess the first question that I want to get from you is your reaction to Mr. Malema's testimony yesterday.
Well, thank you. So Malema did what we expected he would do, was that he would use the opportunity to talk about his party's policy, to promote his political ideals. And so I think politically he probably did well. That's, however, not the question before the court. The question before the court is whether the singing of Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer, as has been done by his supporters, or even Kiss the Boer, as has been sung by him, amounts to hate speech. And in our view it clearly does. What stood out for me yesterday was a moment where he said that if they actually wanted to kill farmers, they would have used real firearms on stage. And Mr. Oppenheimer, on behalf of AfriForum, then asked him, well, would you fire a real gun on stage? To which he said he can't answer that because he's currently being prosecuted for that. That's very alarming. He also made it quite clear that there are severe double standards in their approach. He said that there's nothing wrong with saying that you have a program to help black people. There's nothing wrong with saying that black people are victims. There's nothing wrong with wanting to uplift black people. But if you were to say the same thing about white people, that would make you a racist and a white supremacist. And obviously there's a very gross double standard in that approach.
Another issue that came out was the importance of singing strong struggle songs, rather,
yes,
and the relevance of it. Just your take in terms of the importance of history. We know that these songs were sang for a certain reason back then, and they also played a huge role in terms of where we are.
Yes, well, AfriForum is founded on the idea of promoting mutual recognition and respect, and promoting peaceful coexistence, and that obviously includes respecting each other's heritage. And we should do that, and we should promote the cherishing of our heritage, our heritages, you could say. And we should encourage people to exercise what they regard as their heritage. However, it's not a sufficient explanation or a sufficient defense to say we are going to sing songs about murdering people and then claim that it's our heritage. Because the reality is, well, one of the facts that we need to consider is that the reality is that people are actually being murdered. So while Malema is singing shoot to kill, people are shooting farmers on their farms. While he's encouraging this violence, it's actually happening. So there's a philosophical debate and there's a legal debate, which is the core of what's happening here. But there's a bigger picture also. And the bigger picture is that farm murders is a very serious reality in South Africa.
And Mr. Malema also spoke to that, saying that we have an issue of crime in the country.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't just focus it on being just farm attacks or farm murders.
Yes, well, that's politicking. The fact is, yes, there's a serious crime problem in South Africa. He's correct to say that you can describe South Africa as one big crime scene if you want to make a political statement about it. But that does not change the fact that it's a basic policing principle, that when you deal with a unique crime, you have to develop a unique counter strategy. Nobody is saying, why do we have this program to stop rhino poaching? Because all poaching is a problem. And if you say rhino poaching must be stopped and we need a program to stop rhino poaching, no one is saying, so what you're actually saying is you don't care about elephants or you don't care about other animals. The same goes for cash in transit. No one is saying, so if you want to stop cash in transit heists, that means that you don't care about other types of robbery. That's not the case. It is a very unique crime phenomenon and it needs to be dealt with a unique counter strategy.
One last question I have. We spoke about Kiss the Boer, Kill the Boer, and he said he was just basically saying Kiss the Boer. Your thoughts in what he said there?
Yes, well, his explanation in court was a very convenient after-the-fact explanation, saying no, he sang that because he wants to insult racists and so forth. The fact of the matter is, and that is what we've been arguing in court, and it was already found by a court, by Judge Lamont in this same court, that the song is known as Kill the Boer, or the chant. To now change it to Kiss the Boer after there's been some controversy doesn't detract anything from the underlying message. His supporters are still singing, even if they sing Kiss the Boer, they still think Kill the Boer. So it doesn't make much of a difference. It's a semantic exercise, it's a semantic debate, and we can have that debate. But that does not change, in our view, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't detract one little bit from the fact that this song and this chant, particularly in the context in which it is being used, constitutes hate speech.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thanks
Roets.
very much.
Well, there you go, AfriForum's Ernst Roets there, just giving us his reaction with regards to the evidence that was given by Mr. Malema, saying you can basically get that they are standing their ground. You heard him, he just said that, Mr. Malema saying kiss the Boer is just for convenience. The meaning of that is just kill the Boer, and that contributes to farm attacks. With that being said, it's back to in studio.